Okay. Test, test, test. Okay. Give me just a second. Double checking. Test. Okay. I think that's gonna be good. Give me just a second. Oh, that's not it. No, dang it, that's not it either. I'm having hella issues, guys, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Ah, there we go. Got it. Okay. Copy. Let's see. Turn this off. Okay, baby. If you're there, let me know. Oh, this is booty. Hold on, it says. Ah, okay. I love you, babe. I'm sorry. I'm hurting. Trying to block this pain and I can't, so I'm trying to take my mind off of it. But I'm gonna play that Bigfoot documentary, okay? Well, is that okay, I should say? Let's see. Control new. Okay, give me 1 second then. Let me pull this monster up so that way I can text you. Because this thing is being a terrorist right now and I don't like it. Oh shit, can I just pop out the chat? Let me see. That would be so much easier. No, I don't want to Hide chat. I want to pop it out. Please. Enable live chat. Yeah. Pop out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. There it is. Oh. Okay. Let me close that. Let me open up this. Here we go. Let me know if it's too loud.
Alone on a remote dirt. Often seen, rarely photographed, never captured. It is called Yeti, Sasquatch. But most know the creature as Bigfoot. Now a team of top scientists search the globe. Using the latest technology and their expert knowledge of the animal kingdom, they question the creature's very existence, uncover shocking new evidence, and wonder if we've been searching for the wrong creature.
I gotta double check, make sure that I did everything correctly.
Join us for the definitive guide.
The chronic healer. I feel like
In
this is attached to my old one.
More than 250 unexplained sightings of what was believed to be Bigfoot were recorded in North America.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Whatever.
But they're the tip of the iceberg. Now, for the first time, we have created a global map of Bigfoot sightings. More than 10,000 from the last 200 years. At first, the sightings appear random, but closer scientific analysis reveals hidden but unmistakable patterns.
Okay. There was a pause in the talking. Ben, real quick. Is it lagging for you at all? Can you hear it really good? Do I sound like I'm screaming? Let me turn this off. Okay. That's probably better. But am I talking too loud? Is the volume on YouTube too loud? Can I turn it up some? I can try. Okay. I'll try this. Hold on.
More than 95% of all recorded sightings.
Okay, that's as loud as it'll go. Yeah, let's see. And even on my headset, I can't turn it up anymore. So, I'll turn my game volume down though. Hold on. Give me a second. Sound. Still gotta be able to hear the pings, so I'm good with the video. Okay, I can let me see. I know I can go into my mixer. Let's see. No, it doesn't let me do that. Oh, this is gay. I don't have as much control over it as I used to. I feel like... What the fuck? Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna hit the play button and see. Tell me if you can hear it. Never mind. I can't even hear it. So you definitely can't hear it. Okay, how's this? Oh, shit. Hold on. Okay. Can you hear me? Ooh, yeah, it's picking me up too. Shit. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. You should not be picking me up, you piece of shit. I don't. Hold on one sec.
There are also
Can you hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing. I love you, baby. I'm gonna see if I can't hit this play button real quick. I'm gonna rewind it like 30 seconds and then we'll play. Hold on.
distinct closer sight of Bigfoot sightings. More than 10,000 from the last 200 years. At first, the sightings appear random, but closer scientific analysis reveals hidden but unmistakable patterns. More than 95% of all recorded sightings take place in Asia or North America. Nearly 70% of these are at high altitude and dense tree cover. There are also distinct hotspots, where sightings are far more common than elsewhere. One is the Himalayas.
I love you,
Here,
baby.
generations of eyewitnesses
better?
describe a gigantic snow ape, the Yeti. 2,000 miles south on the islands of
Is it
Indonesia,
better or worse?
locals talk of a wild ape man called Orang Pendek. While up in Central Asia, sightings of ancient Neanderthal-type humans go back centuries. And here in the wilderness of North America, they see a giant ape-like beast. Sasquatch. Vancouver, British Columbia. This booming city has a population of over 2 million people.
Okay, give me just a second. I'm gonna try something. Hold on. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Worse? Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. Give me the fit. Hold on, give me a sec, babe. Hold on. Fuck you, bro. No. Let's hit the fizz. There we go. Take that. Take that. Take celerity. Take that. Okay, we're gonna try this because I don't know what I'm doing. So, let's see now. I need to be able to hear this. Give me just a second.
Often seen, rarely photographed, never captured. It is called Yeti, Sasquatch, but most know the creature as Bigfoot. Now a team of top scientists search the globe. Using the latest technology and their expert knowledge of the animal kingdom, they question the creature's very existence, uncover shocking new evidence, and wonder if we've been searching for the wrong creature all along. Join us for the definitive guide to Bigfoot. In 2009, more than 250 unexplained sightings of what was believed to be Bigfoot were recorded in North America.
I'm talking now.
But they're the tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg.
Now, for the first time, we have created a global map of Bigfoot sightings. More than 10,000 from the last 200 years. At first, the sightings appear random, but closer scientific analysis reveals hidden but unmistakable patterns. More than 95% of all recorded sightings take place in Asia or North America. Nearly 70% of these are at high altitude and dense tree cover. There are also distinct hotspots, where sightings are far more common than elsewhere. One is the Himalayas. Here, generations of eyewitnesses describe a gigantic snow ape, the Yeti.
Oh, gigantic snow ape, fuck that.
2,000 miles south on the islands of Indonesia, locals talk of a wild ape man called Orang Pendek. While up in Central Asia, sightings of ancient Neanderthal-type humans go back centuries. And here in the wilderness of North America, they see a giant ape-like beast. Sasquatch. Vancouver, British Columbia. This booming city has a population of over 2 million people. But
You
right
can
on its
barely hear me
doorstep
though. Oh, damn
is
it.
a vast wilderness. 62 million acres of ancient forest, much of which has never been logged. The wilds of British Columbia have one of the greatest concentration of Bigfoot encounters in the world. More than 400 in the last century. Here in the forests surrounding Chilliwack Lake in the summer of 2008, 3 sightings took place within 10 miles of each other. 2 on the same night.
2 on the same night.
This driver is alone on a remote dirt road. He's never believed in Bigfoot.
And of course
But
not.
he's
Why would he?
about to see something that will profoundly challenge what he has previously regarded as fiction. This is the report he filed.
I was coming up the road here, in the lights. I seen something, like a bear almost. But I realized this couldn't be a bear. It seen me and immediately left. It moved like a ninja. Nothing can move like that.
Like hundreds of others, this eyewitness chose to remain anonymous for fear of being ridiculed. But his words are real. 3.5 hours
The sad
later,
thing is, I don't even
another encounter
play
takes place when a
fucking
trucker
Fizz,
spots an
and I'm
identical
hella
picture on
good
the
with
same
them.
stretch of road. The distance between the 2 sightings? Just 1 mile.
Oh shit.
The local newspaper filed this report. Both eyewitnesses were convinced that what they saw was not a bear.
Please
10
not me,
miles
please not me,
away,
please not me.
And 6 weeks later, a third encounter takes place in the forests around Chilliwack. This experienced hunter was out stalking deer off the Ruby Creek Forest Service Road. What happened next has haunted him ever since. Without warning, a rock hurls toward him.
I swung my upper body and my rifle over to the side, thinking that it was a bear, and it wasn't. It was a rock in
Man,
mid-flight.
it wasn't.
It looked to be about 2 feet long. So I was looking to where it came from. Then I saw a flash of black, and it took off through the bush. It took it literally a couple of seconds from approximately this area here to about there.
There are no records of bears ever throwing rocks.
I come into contact with bears quite often, and it was not a bear. Didn't exactly want to find out what it was. I don't like knowing that there's something out there that can pick me up and use me as a toothpick.
For real,
I spent the last
shit.
2 years trying to forget it ever happened.
These 3 encounters are just a small sample of the rich history of sightings in this area. Stories of rock-throwing wild men date back generations in the Chilliwack region. It's July 1934, and local Native American Tom Cedar is out fishing for trout. He's lived and hunted in this remote area all his life. But he's taken completely by surprise when what he reports to be a Sasquatch starts hurling rocks, trying to capsize his canoe.
Fuck no.
It's one of a series of attacks. And the first time local tribes share their long history of Sasquatch encounters with outsiders. This Sasquatch rock art from Northern California was painted in 500 AD. How do you explain hundreds of encounters stretching back over centuries? Something is out there, but what?
Death? That's all it is, death.
Here in one of the world's Bigfoot hotspots, the forests of Canada, 5 of the world's leading scientists have come together to solve this global mystery. Field researchers and specialists, experts in discovering new species of primates, ancient humans, the habitats and behavior of the great apes, the fossil record, and the search for unidentified hominids. Their mission is to focus on how to find these unidentified creatures and establish once and for all if they exist.
This is one of the most intriguing questions of zoological exploration that faces science in this modern era.
Jeff Meldrum has first-hand experience of what may have been Bigfoot.
Did you hear that?
That rock was pretty good size. Let's stay here. We've had action. We've had rocks thrown at us.
In 2007, he was part of a team besieged by an unidentified rock-throwing creature in a remote Canadian cabin.
One of us was urinating off the porch when the first stone hit the side of the cabin.
I'm still shaking.
Teammate Ian Redmond has led several expeditions searching for evidence of the Yeti. He's convinced something unexplained is out there.
If you put aside the hoaxers and the ones that are clearly mistaken identity, there's still a nugget, which is why we're all here.
The team will concentrate on a fundamental principle. If Bigfoot is real, it must fit into our understanding of the natural world, meaning it must do everything other animals do, from feeding to finding a mate. The scientists first examine the best evidence available, video and film footage. There are hundreds of examples of this sort of evidence for Bigfoot. Their first task is to eliminate the hoaxes. This video shot near the Canadian town of Banff seems convincing enough, until you realize an identical creature was seen promoting a local business the night before.
What is that? Don't tell me that's a Yeti.
Then
Don't tell me that's a
videos where
Yeti.
the images are so indistinct.
Alright, I won't tell you
They
then.
could be almost anything. Once they eliminate the obvious hoaxes and the images that are so blurred or out of focus to make any real identification possible, there's very little left. The experts are not so surprised.
Animals are there at home in their environment, and we're often the intruder, the visitor, and evading human detection is not that difficult.
Just how well animals can live undetected by man was proven by this incredible video footage shot in 2007. It's almost all the evidence we have of a new species of man-sized primate, the billy ape. Found in the remote forest of Congo, Africa, it took primatologists a year to track down and film these giant-sized 300-pound chimps.
Ooh.
But local people had talked about them for generations. Anna Nakaris has discovered 6 new species of primates.
What the
I believe very much in what local people say.
This is in
And
2016.
if local people tell me something is there, I have a suspicion that it may be, even if I haven't seen it.
The team points to the discovery of the billy ape as a positive indicator for Bigfoot. If a new species as large as this has managed to live undetected by science for so long, could other species of giant ape-like creatures still be out there? The team goes in search of answers, heading out into the heart of the densest clusters of Bigfoot sightings in the world. And they tackle the single most controversial piece of Bigfoot evidence ever. A team of leading scientists are searching for evidence of Bigfoot that cannot be dismissed. Their goal? To separate fact from fiction and create the definitive guide to this mysterious creature. Research has identified the forests of British Columbia as one of its most probable habitats. Now Ian Redmond takes the search directly into the field. He's one of the world's leading gorilla trackers and is using his highly trained eye to look for signs of an unknown species of ape. Redmond is on Vancouver Island, a place where sightings of Sasquatch are so common, it's sometimes nicknamed Ape Island.
I misplayed that.
The first thing he uncovers is a mysterious structure, one of several found on different parts of the island. It's an example of what is often referred to as a Sasquatch stick structure.
It is intriguing. Whatever did it, meant to do it, it's not an accident of trees falling. We can look all around us and see the odd tree falling, but nothing like this structure, this stick structure, which is what they're referred to as. The great apes all build nests to sleep in. They sometimes interweave bamboo stems that are this sort of thickness, and therefore impossible for a man alone to break. And they form a platform above the ground to sleep on. But that doesn't look like anyone slept in it. It's just an interesting structure.
But if it isn't a nest, what could it be?
Ah, but that is interesting because it was broken off before it fell.
Redmond suspects another motive for the structure, which is also common in gorilla behavior.
If its intention is to tell other Sasquatch that there's a powerful male here and he can break off sticks, that would be an interesting interpretation. If its intention is to warn humans not to enter into the Sasquatch territory,
stick structure, right?
I don't think it's working. It's just going to intrigue us all the more.
While the stick structures may not be conclusive, the fact is, the global map indicates that sightings in this area date back more than a century. One of Vancouver Island's hotspots is the area around the small town of Duncan, and sightings continue right up to the present day. It was 5 miles from here in 2005 that a local resident had what he describes as an encounter with a giant ape-like creature. Corey Combs is a local dirt bike rider. He grew up in and around the forests of central Vancouver Island. One June evening, he was out on his motorbike when he saw what he believes to have been a Sasquatch.
Sorry, I had to go.
Face to face.
Set up camp, had a fire going.
Actually, no.
Got kind of late, and you know I could hear the bushes moving and branches breaking, but I didn't think much about it. But the noises, they kept coming, and I had that sense of something was watching me. And we got our flashlight going, and the batteries were just about to die. And all I remember was seeing the light shine on its face before the battery died. And that was the instant that I knew exactly what was watching me, that it was indeed Sasquatch. Very distinctive facial features, you know, real broad cheeks, and very prominent eyebrow structure. The face of what looked like an ape. It turned, and then it was gone. And it just left me in just pure terror.
In June 2006, another alleged Sasquatch encounter took place 17 miles west of Duncan. Alan Robertson had pulled onto the roadside with his boat on a trailer when what he thinks could have been a giant ape suddenly attacked.
We stopped, you know, do a pee break, but then everything started shaking inside the truck. My stepson says, we're rolling backwards, we're rolling backwards. I said to him, no, I've got my foot on the brake, I'm in park. This fear came over me. The safety chain was just hanging. The boat itself was twisted in its cradle, and there was 3 cracks here and 2 cracks here. Even now, when you think back, it just, I get, you know, shivers.
A third nighttime encounter with what the witness thought was a giant ape took place in June of 2009 on Mount Sicker, 6.5 miles from Duncan. Andrew DeWall was out putting his 4x4 through its paces on a forest road.
Ouch.
When he pulled in at the top of the mountain to check out the spectacular early evening view. But as he turned to an area of recently logged trees, he saw something he couldn't believe.
It looked like your typical picture of a Sasquatch that you'd see on a commercial. It had the flat face, the long draped hair, his arms were down by his knees. And it popped up from behind that stump, just kind of came up. They had moved up into about that range, and I just kind of laughed it off, you know? You don't expect to see something like that walking on 2 legs through the bush. So we got out of the truck, I picked up some rocks and I threw them off the corner of my Jeep, and then from the back corner of my vehicle, something yelled at us.
Holy fuck!
Sounded like 20 dogs perfectly in sync, barking at once. It's kind of like a punch in the back of the head. And that's when we both kind of got scared and drove out of here.
Sasquatch howling like a pack of dogs sounds far-fetched, but gorillas also bark.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was considered a bark, though.
An important factor linking all 3 of these Vancouver Island encounters is that they all took place after sundown. Apes don't have night vision, so how could Bigfoot be active at night?
Got her.
What they could be good at is seeing in the moonlights, because the forest in the moonlight is very similar to the forest at dawn and dusk, and you can see a lot in a full moon. And so if you're clever and you're an ape, or most apes are very clever, it'd be a great time to think you could avoid competition by being adapted to those periods.
Ian Redmond now joins a team of local Bigfoot researchers on a moonlit stakeout. Cindy Dosen leads them. Her determination to find the truth comes from personal experience.
I was on a game trail, and 2 deer come flying up the trail, and I took that as a high alert that something's following them. This animal started vocalizing at me. The sound was so strong, I could feel it, and I was probably 200 feet away. It was like a yell, scream, roar, all in one sentence.
Tonight, Cindy's hoping she'll hear Sasquatch again. Her team have come equipped with a high-tech listening device and an advanced night vision camera to perhaps capture its image.
The reports suggest that they are often active at night, but the visibility, even in daytime here, is only going to be a few yards in any direction. So it's probably going to be sound that alerts us to their presence.
One twilight behavior other local researchers have noticed
Got her, though.
is tree knocking.
Sasquatch apparently respond to this because they say that if you sort of thwack twice, you'll get 2 taps coming back. And that's communicating.
This unusual behavior has been reported in other apes, notably chimps. While they wait for a reply, the researchers try another tactic. known to provoke a response from what they think is Sasquatch. A long call that they believe mimics the call made by females of the species.
Ah, that makes perfect sense.
Incredibly, against all odds, a faint reply.
Fucking no! That's what I'd be saying. Fucking no!
But the researchers are confused. Replaying it again and again, it sounds like it's mimicking field expert Cindy Dawson. It sounds almost human. The next morning, Ian Redmond explores the area for signs of a great ape having passed through. What does he think of last night's distant cry?
When we heard from some distance behind us a reply, of course, the reaction was immediate. It was extremely exciting, but Cindy was very calm and didn't show immediate excitement at the reply. And I guess she was being cautious because it sounded human-like.
While they investigate further, Jeff Meldrum tries a new technique he hopes will uncover solid evidence. He's teamed up with Bigfoot researcher and habitat specialist John Mayanzinski.
It's okay, I got this now.
Yeah. They've gone back to the drawing board and come up with a new and untried method for finding Sasquatch. Tracker dogs.
Oh, I mean, I guess that'd work.
These detection dogs
you want to piss them off,
are used quite commonly in search and rescue efforts, but also in recovery efforts, finding the remains of a deceased hiker or hunter.
If dogs like these can be trained to locate human remains, they could, in theory, be trained to find the remains of Sasquatch. The most difficult part of the training is finding something that may give the dogs the creature's scent.
Our first sample came from a mountain range in Washington State, about 20 years old now.
Experts can't be sure if the scent from either of the skin dog registers a definite
from the dogs
that they would be otherwise familiar with, or not quite human, is very promising.
The team needs to investigate what kind